Hey guys, this is Gautam here, and welcome to Chocolate Coffee Conversations. Cube is what I like to call this. Fancy la? I just came up with it. Alright, even before we enter into the pilot episode, I want to set up a mood for this episode. நீங்க drive பண்ணிட்டு இல்ல அப்படின்னா, if you're listening to this podcast by sitting in your couch, dining table, laying in your bed, then do exactly what I'm saying here. Close your eyes, just take a deep breath, clear out all the images in your mind, and imagine a cup of hot black coffee pouring in. Just imagine the smell of the coffee. Keep that mindset and listen to this podcast. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And chocolate coffee அப்படின்னு கேட்டோன்னே அதே குடிக்கணும்னு தோணுச்சுனாலும் it's great. As long as you're not ordering it from the Wild Bean Cafe after hours, you're safe to drink it. I hope you get the Leo reference. Right. This is my first ever attempt to make a podcast, and this is the pilot episode. So there you go. Congrats to you, congrats to me. You're listening my first episode, and I'm making my first ever podcast episode, and I hope this goes on successfully. எதுக்கு இந்த podcast? That's the first question. நானே என்ன கேட்டுட்ட question, and I wanted to put that in the pilot episode as well. எதுக்கு podcast? ஆக்சுவலாக ரொம்ப நாளாகவே பாட்காஸ்ட் பண்ணணும்னு ஒரு ஆசை இருந்தது. ஏன் அப்படின்னா பாட்காஸ்ட் கிவ்ஸ் யூ திஸ் லெவரேஜ் டு டாக் அபவுட் வேரியஸ் டாபிக்ஸ் அண்ட் மோர் தேன் தேட் இட் ஆக்சுவலி கிவ்ஸ் அ லெவரேஜ் டு இன்வைட் பீப்புள் அண்ட் ஹாவ் அ கான்வர்சேஷன் வித் தம். அதனால தான் ஸ்பெசிஃபிக்காக சேனலோட பேர்லேயே நான் கான்வர்சேஷன்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிறத இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணியிருக்கிறதுக்கு காரணம், திஸ் இஸ் நாட் அ சோலோ பாட்காஸ்ட். I'm not the only one talking, and I'm inviting guests who can talk about various topics, can discuss about it. They could be my friends, they could be the people I know, they could be the people who sort of know or exist in the topic that I am planning to talk. And I want to keep it local. See, YEG, Edmonton வந்து ஒரு fascinating-ஆன city. There is so much that happens about the city, and when I read about different stuffs, it really fascinates me. But there is no real one-stop shop to get to know about the city. Social media is one way. உங்களோட இன்ஸ்டாகிராம் ஃபீட்ஸ், உங்களோட ஃபேஸ்புக் ஃபீட்ஸ், வாட்ஸ்அப் ஸ்டேட்டஸஸ், ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் ஆஃப் அ ஃப்ரெண்ட்ஸ் ஷேர் பண்ணுறதுல யூ மைட் நோ வாட் ஆர் த இவெண்ட்ஸ் தட்ஸ் ஹேப்பனிங் அண்ட் வாட் ஆர் த ஃபேசினேட்டிங் venues and stuffs to do in Edmonton. Other than that, there's no other way, right? So I want to keep this channel as local as possible, talking about Edmonton, right? Things that's happening in Edmonton, people from Edmonton, people from this community. அவங்க என்ன நினைக்கிறாங்க, அவங்களுக்குள்ள என்ன விஷயங்கள் போயிட்டு இருக்கு அப்படின்னு. I want to keep it local, I want to keep it very connected. That's the second purpose. So two purposes, obviously, to delve into lots of topics and to keep it local and talk about it. Those are the two whys. Those are the answers for the why of this podcast. Now, what is this podcast is about? The why-லயே சில answers இருக்கு, but still, as I said, this podcast will be dealing with topics. என்ன வேணாலும் இருக்கலாம் அந்த டாபிக். It could be sports, it could be cooking, it could be a hobby, it could be professional topic, it could be psychological, it could be medical, um, it could be immigration, business, strategies, promotions, immigration, you name it, I'll talk it. Let's put it like that. Because I love talking about different topics, and I believe I can have a conversation with anybody about any topic. ஸோ அந்த கான்வர்சேஷனை எவ்வளவு இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங்காகவும், எவ்வளவு எக்ஸைட்டிங்காகவும், எவ்வளவு யூஸ்ஃபுல்லாகவும் ஆக்க முடியுங்கிறது தான் என்னோட வேலையாக இருக்க போகுது. பிகாஸ் just a mere conversation is not going to be helpful. The conversation has to be filled with engagement and information to keep it entertaining. So this is the whole idea of the podcast. The language could be English, Tamil, Hindi. Whoever is comfortable in whichever language, the guest that I'm inviting in, I'll make the podcast in that language and reach out people. நிறையா இங்கிலீஷ் உள்ளே வரலாம், தமிழ் அங்கங்கே வரலாம், நிறையா தமிழ் உள்ளே வரலாம், இங்கிலீஷ் அங்கங்கே வரலாம், கிராமட்டிக்கலி இன்கரெக்ட், கரெக்ட் எல்லாமே இருக்கலாம். See, I want to keep this as raw as possible. It's a conversation. So I can make mistakes. I'm not prepared. There is no script in my hand. Yes, there is points for me to hit, but there is no real script that I'm going to use. Even when I'm having a conversation, அந்த கான்வர்சேஷனை ஏற்கனவே கெஸ்ட்டுக்கிட்ட டிஸ்க்ளோஸ் பண்ண போகிறதில்ல, கொஷன்ஸை டிஸ்க்ளோஸ் பண்ண போகிறதில்ல, I'm going to just give an idea of what I'm going to talk about, and it's going to be a pure conversation. I'll try to keep it as time effective as possible. All right. So I'm really super excited for this, and I hope you're also excited. There is going to be more episodes rolling out. So do follow the channel. I'm going to stream this podcast in various channels like Spotify, Google Podcast, or Apple Podcast, and any other podcast platform that I can get my hands on. So do listen to it, share it with your friends and family. Who do you think are able to consume it, can benefit out of it, and enjoy this? And I would really appreciate your support throughout this journey. That's going to motivate me to make this podcast and the series of episodes that I'm going to make out of it. All right, then, until we meet next time, stay tuned, like how we say in Radio Times. This is Gautam signing off. Magilchi.